Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back.
Hi, everyone.
Once again, we're back in the studio, and Alyce and I are now going to be talking about the East Coast of Disney stuff.
There we go. We're going south.
Well, southeast.
Southeast.
Going to Orlando.
Humidity.
Humidity, my old friend, how I have not missed you.
Never. Though. You get off the plane and you're like...
Exactly. Exactly.
Always. It's reflexive.
But it's still the beginning of the vacation.
It's the best. We love it. If it wasn't there, it would be odd. It would feel wrong. So.
Very true. Very true. That's something that I actually appreciate when we go, is because it's that tactile cue
that you're there.
That the vacation has begun.
You hit the jetway and you're like, ugh, okay, we're here.
Exactly.
So.
Oh, boy. Okay, yeah, that's going to be a weird noise.
There you go. Well, welcome back, everybody. Alyce, Chuck, Toddcast. We're talking all things Disney right now.
Well, yeah.
With this series.
Yeah, and this is going to be a series. This is only part one for this particular side.
They're big, so...
Yeah.
Pretty much each part can take 2 days. So.
Well, and okay, let's get that out of the way right now. Okay, you thought that Disneyland was big. You thought the California Adventure was pretty big, and yeah, okay, they're
good size. They're a good full day.
Comparative theme parks, they're pretty big.
Yeah.
Okay, they're pretty big.
You're gonna get your 10,000 steps in.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
But at Walt Disney World, okay. The property for Walt Disney World alone is larger than the city of Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's that big. We're talking huge. And these parks are not shy.
No.
Okay. The smallest park, I do believe, is Hollywood Studios.
Hollywood Studios, yeah.
Okay. The largest park is Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of people think that Animal Kingdom is the smallest park. Oh. But the safari and all of the animal exhibits and the space for the animals takes up a big chunk of real estate. So
exactly. It's huge.
It's huge.
And it has to be huge. The original park in Walt Disney World was Magic Kingdom.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That one is larger than Disneyland, but some of the rides are actually shorter.
Shorter, yeah. Yeah.
So I haven't quite figured that dynamic out quite yet, as far as an Imagineering standpoint.
The floor plan and everything.
Yeah,
so.
I don't understand that, but that was the choices they made. That was where they wanted to go with all of this, and that's how they did it.
And
so
we'll probably address that even with one of them in this episode tonight. So
yes.
And again, our whole goal is to give you guys an understanding of what it's like to travel through Disney, how we do it, and so our approaches to understanding how to get there and how to make the bang for your buck.
Exactly. And please also forgive me tonight. I have a new piece of equipment here, so it's partially a toy, partially also I'm learning more about the audio, on how to do the audio for the video, and
we're learning too.
Yeah, boy is it. And
skills.
This last year plus has been that again, part of the adventure.
Yeah.
You're
getting a wrinkly brain.
Yes, and thank goodness. Oh man. Yeah. Hi, Merida.
That comes from if you learn something new, your brain makes a new wrinkle. So every time you learn something new, you get a new fold in your brain. So you want a wrinkly brain.
Sorry, I have to pause for the cause here.
I know. It's demanded.
Yes. Well,
So, all right. So we are headed to Walt Disney World. So from Colorado, where we live, we'll just start from the top and get going. being airport kids we are, we talk about flights and planes. This is about a 3.5-hour flight. I would plan on 4 just because of weather, and weather will always cause an issue because you're flying towards the east, and if you pay attention to how weather patterns go, welcome to our childhood, all Todd kids.
Yep. Yep.
You understand that, like, the weather's going the same direction you're flying, so you're going to get in clouds. However, this is one of the funnest flights to cloud watch.
Oh, indeed.
And do thunderheads. Like, our mom loves traveling, but one of her favorite things about traveling is traveling above the clouds and looking at those thunderheads and looking at the designs. And so when you do travel east, it is really cool because you do, and especially like in spring, summer-ish, well, even fall, like anytime, you get some really beautiful clouds up there. In fact, the last time I traveled in July of 23, I was flying at night in a storm, and I actually, for the first time, actually paid attention where I got to see lightning go from cloud to cloud above.
Right.
It was so cool. It was really, really cool. And bonus, I knew the pilot, so I was kind of like, thanks for the show, Jerry.
Exactly. Well, you see, and that's the nice thing for me also about traveling east is the sky castles.
Yeah, they're so cool.
I love sky towers and sky castles.
Yeah.
And the cloud castles are fun. They're just fun for me.
So it's a longer flight just because of our proximity, but if you fly from the central time zone, it is actually a 2-hour flight. It's really, really quick. From Dallas.
Yeah, exactly.
We popped right over.
It's a 2-hour flight.
It's regionally how long your flight's going to be. Do recommend that if you are going to have a longer flight, you should start earlier in the day, just because you also have the time change.
Yes.
So that's something to take into account too. So we, again, grew up flying very, very early, but us getting a 7, 8 o'clock flight, the 4 hours there, and then you add the 2 hours ahead for the time change.
Exactly.
I mean, you're already at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Exactly. And
you're just traveling.
That's something very important. If you are coming from our side of the country, you are going to be adding 2 hours to your destination.
So I recommend not doing a park day on your travel day.
Yes.
Just because it takes, now if you fly into Orlando, it's a 45-minute drive from the airport to the parks and your resort. Exactly. So again, you're adding another hour. So by the time, you start traveling, your whole day's shot and you're tired and you're travel weary. So I just recommend having just a travel day with this park. And
this is something that's important for me in my method of doing it, is I like to be able to get to the resort and do that food, rest, learn about my resort, learn about the hotel. The reason is because these hotels, almost every one of them, there is something to do and something to learn.
I was like, they're a destination in of themselves.
Yes. I think we had touched on this before about the room goblins, or about the room gnomes or room goblins. Those are folks who go specifically to the resort and do nothing else.
They just stay at the resorts. They don't even go to parks and ride rides or anything.
Exactly. And sometimes they don't even go out of their room. They just order room service and hang out,
Yeah.
That's on my bucket list at the Polynesian. I want to do that on the vacation club.
Oh, the DVC building?
The DVC. Okay. No, not the building.
Oh,
the bungalows. Yes, I want to do that on the bungalows on the water because I want to be able to, at night, watch the fireworks from my back porch.
Yeah.
And in the morning, wake up to the sound of the ferry boat horns.
What an alarm clock.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
But, anyway.
Dreams.
So we're flying into MCO. Flying into Orlando International Airport.
The cool thing about MCO, especially on the United terminal, crazy us, we fly the United terminal. It's pretty much, you get off and everything's Disney. So there's a Disney store. There's picture opportunities. There's all of this, where you're landing into. There's some SeaWorld stuff too. There's some Universal stuff too. But
Indeed.
there's very
Indeed.
much you're automatically going and you get off the plane and you're in Disney. If that's what it feels like.
Yeah, and that to me, again, that's one of those neat things because as soon as I get off the plane, I'm walking off the plane, I'm seeing everything that's happening, and immediately I am assaulted with posters, photo
Picture
opportunities. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, the stores are right there, and the thing is that it continues even when you get on the train back to the main terminal or the main hub terminal.
Yeah.
It still continues. I mean,
Yeah.
there's everywhere you look, there is Disney.
So-
Orlando has invested in this property, and the property has invested in Orlando.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
It's a mutually beneficial relationship.
contrary to what you might hear in the news.
No, yeah, it's
there's
very
a
much.
distinct partnership between the municipality and the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
A distinct partnership.
And they do like each other.
Oh, very much so.
They do. So
Very much
we'll
so.
we'll leave that for another thing.
That's for others to do.
So
really.
as I mentioned before, it's not really close. So how do you get to the resorts? There
Oh.
are some choices.
Unfortunately, there are. I'm a little bitter about that.
I know,
I'm a little
because
bitter
I
about
I miss it. But they've made alternatives.
that.
There's alternatives. It's not the same, but different.
After a fashion, yes, there are. Yeah. Mears is a company that is one that you can find at both coasts for getting back and forth to Disney. They have their little shuttle buses and little shuttle vans and whatever that can get you back and forth to wherever they need to go. I do believe that in Orlando they do have an actual fleet of buses.
Yes.
Actual
Yeah.
buses.
Yeah.
So
They do.
which is sort of reminiscent of the old
Magical
Express.
Magical Express.
Yeah, I'm
I'm-
sorry. A moment of silence. Right then.
I love your Magical Express. The
Yeah.
buses had overlays of the characters, and you could have them in the windows. And then
Yep.
as you drove, they played TV with getting you excited about the parks, and they sang music, and we got to sing
And there was-
songs. And
Chunks of the Disney Channel
Channel,
being played, okay, the last real good memory of that I had of us riding the Magical Express, Mom, Dad, you, Kat, Chris, myself, and Meg.
and Sherry.
Yes, and Sherry as well. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris's mom was there with us. All of us were on the Magical Express, and we were feeling the magic.
Oh man.
We were feeling it, and a whole new world from Aladdin comes on.
And we were in the back of the bus because we're the back of the bus family.
Yes, we are. We and the reason is because we can
We're loud.
spread out, and we're loud, and we can be. Yes. So we're in the back, and Chris starts in, and she starts in singing, and it's like, okay. And then the chorus comes in with the duet with Aladdin and Jasmine. So I'm harmonizing with Chris. Next thing you know, 4 bars later, Alyce has joined in. My mom has joined in. My dad's kind of humming along because he doesn't really know it
the
that
words,
well.
but he's knowing how
Yeah.
the part goes.
Exactly. And Meg is joined in. Sherry doesn't really know it.
But she loves it.
Yeah, but she's enjoying the whole thing. And then Kat, little bitty
Because she
Kat.
was 4?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joins in.
Yeah.
And yeah, all of us. 6-part harmony.
This is for
You know?
serenading the bus. Well, then other families joined in too. It was like
That's true.
It became this big sing along in the bus, and it was
That's
so
true.
fun.
It was great.
It was so
great.
cool.
It was it's again one of those magic moments
Yeah.
that I always go back to. But yeah, the bus driver when we're still singing as we're passing him, and his statement, "Well, you all are ready, aren't you?"
Yes, we were. It was so good. So
It was fun.
Yes, we do mourn the Magical Express. However,
Yes.
there is bus alternatives. You can actually, if you work with a concierge or a travel planner like MVP,
Yes.
they can actually set that up for you. You can actually set that up through Disney Travel, or they at least have access for you to set that up, but you can pre-book that before you get to Orlando to make sure that you have a ticket and a space on the bus.
Exactly.
There's vans.
Yeah, there's the vans.
Uber.
There's Uber. There's Lyft. There's
taxis. Yeah. It's actually,
there's
honestly,
tons.
yeah. The buses buses and vans are probably the most economical way to travel because it's mass.
Exactly.
However, if you wanted a little more private, you can Uber or Lyft.
Right.
There are options.
Yeah, and see, that was something that I appreciated about the last time I went to Anaheim with Kat for Oogie Boogie Bash, is the van we had was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Cool.
I mean, these guys were fantastic.
Cool.
And I'll try to give the name of the company
Link
when
it
I
in the description or something.
When I do the edit,
Yeah.
I'll probably
Right here.
right across here.
Right here.
You know.
Or right here. Right here.
Or because they're fantastic. Anyway, you don't have them in Orlando.
There are options,
You
though.
know.
There are some good companies, but I would default to the bus.
So will I.
So.
I'm sorry, but I have to. I'm sorry, I am that much of a geek, and I'm just going to keep doing it. And
What?
Yeah.
Shock? Horror? What?
I know, right? Well, yeah. You guys should be used to this by now. We're 6 episodes in now, and
You haven't figured out our dynamic and humor yet. Stick around.
Yeah, it's just going to get weirder from here. Anyway, where were we? Buses going.
This is what we used to do in the back of the car when we travel around as a family. So just picture into our childhood.
With a lot more weird. With a lot more weird.
That's okay.
Oh, don't step on
All right,
that,
so
baby.
we're going to the hotel. You can create whatever experience you want on said. You can even nap. You can just stick in a podcast. Toddcast, might I add.
Yeah. Hey, you can listen to us going to the parks. Hey.
And then you get to your resort. And like we said, the resorts are a destination in of themselves. And there are oodles to choose from if you want to
Yes.
stay on property. I am a stay on property kind of kid. I don't like to do good neighbor. Simply because of the ease and the convenience of staying on property and having Disney transportation at your doorstep.
Exactly. Just
That
being
is-
able to walk out the front door from the lobby, go to the bus station,
And get wherever you want.
and be taken where I
Yeah.
want to go.
Mm-hmm.
You
So
know.
we're going to come at this from a perspective of staying on property.
Exactly.
So since I've been to the world a lot more than Chuck has, I had the opportunity to stay at a few more resorts than you have. However, you've stayed at some
Right.
resorts I haven't stayed at.
Okay,
So
yeah,
there's
okay.
some perspective. The closer to Magic Kingdom you get, the more expensive the resorts are.
Oh, yes.
The
yes.
farther in the outskirts that you get, the less expensive they are. Actually, if you stay at a hotel or property that's close to any of the parks, might I add.
Yeah.
They're going to be a little more expensive. However, there's different price points for all of you. It depends on how much you want to spend and how much you're going to put out there. We have the great privilege of having family who is part of DVC, so we get to have some access to things. But pick your poison when it comes to your resort, and you get to try some really fun places. So,
Right.
What's your favorite?
Well, okay. So let's talk about price points favorites first. If we're going to be going for a lower, more budget-minded resort stay, I think I would go for the moderate resorts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there are 2.5 resorts that I would stay at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Caribbean Beach was the first one of the moderates, and I really liked that
I
one.
did too. I liked Caribbean Beach a lot.
It was fun. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of transportation options from Caribbean Beach other than the bus.
They're on the Skyliner now.
Oh, that's right. They're on the Skyliner.
Mm-hmm. They're
Sorry.
a Skyliner resort now.
There are a couple of options now from Caribbean Beach. So the reason I like Caribbean Beach was because that was the first resort that Chris and I stayed at when we started kicking back up this whole Disney fandom thing again. And that was back in 99 or 2000, I believe. So that's,
Probably, yeah.
yeah, 24 years ago. I like Caribbean Beach.
I do too.
It's big.
It is.
It's a huge resort.
big,
It's
big,
very
big resort.
spread out.
Mhm.
And it takes a while to get from
Martinique,
yeah. Yeah. Jamaica.
Jamaica, Aruba. So each of the little hotel complexes are named after a Caribbean island.
Yeah, or a set of islands.
Or set of
yeah.
islands.
Yeah.
So then you have your bus driver naming said in
Yep.
a very probably thick Southern accent. So some of them are just super fun.
Yeah, I mean, okay, 9 times out of 10, the guys that's going to be driving the buses are locals,
They're amazing people.
and they're fantastic. They're wonderful people, but that accent is thick. It's thick.
Martinique.
Yep.
So,
So yeah, occasionally, Alice and I will make the joke of Aruba, Jamaica. Yeah, anyway,
it keeps going.
It
So anyway,
does.
that's fun. So I love Caribbean Beach. I agree with you.
Yeah, Caribbean Beach is a lot of fun. The other resort, and this is why I call it 2.5, is because I count these next 2 resorts as one.
As one, I agree with you there.
Okay. Port Orleans Riverside or Port Orleans French Quarter.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've only stayed on the Riverside. You've stayed
at French Quarter,
Quarter.
as well. And honestly, I would go back to French Quarter in a heartbeat.
I want to try that. I want to try there.
It's the smaller of the 2.
Yeah.
There's how can I say? It's honestly Disney has paid a lot of attention to make it look like the French Quarter in New Orleans. Okay, it's beautiful. The lobby itself in French Quarter has a couple of really great places, and you can get beignets almost anywhere in this resort.
Isn't that where Yeehaw Bob plays?
Yes.
Love Yeehaw Bob.
Yes.
He's a Disney icon.
Yep, he plays in the coffee house
Nice.
right next to the bar.
Cool.
That's the other thing. Live music in the evenings in the bar.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
live
of
music. Oh, it was fantastic. I can't sing the praises enough. I really can't. Anyway, now Riverside, I liked Riverside real well, and the reason is because there's several ways. Well, there's at least 2 ways to get back and forth to resorts and back and forth to parks. One naturally is the bus. 2, they have a waterway.
They have the water taxis.
They have a water taxis.
And those are great. Yeah.
Taking the water taxi to Disney Springs.
It was so fun. Yeah.
I recommend.
I mean,
I recommend every time.
we're also a fan of water. If you haven't figured that out. And you get us on a boat, we're both really happy.
Because we live in a landlocked state.
All
So,
mountain kids want to go to the beach, and all beach kids want to go to the mountains.
That's
I say
right.
that.
Yeah. They want to go see snow. We want to go see
the
sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so I agree with you. I liked Riverside a lot.
Yeah.
So
Now, on the high end, excuse me. Jeez. All right, well, there's our first error message tonight.
an edit. Spring has sprung in Colorado.
Yes, it has. And also, the air is very dry today.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
Oi. Okay. On the high end resorts that I was lucky enough to stay in is the Polynesian.
you stayed there.
Yeah, and if I've got the budget to do it, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
I will do it again. I can't say enough about it, and with that one, there's 3 ways to get to
And
parks.
one of them is your all-time favorite.
Yes. Naturally, they have a water taxi across Seven Seas Lagoon to go over to Disneyland. Or, sorry, Magic Kingdom. Okay. I'm going to trip up on
I'm gonna
that
say
all night.
That's an easy mess up for a lot of people.
Yeah,
so there you go.
I'm going to trip up on that all night, and I know better. Anyway, they got the water taxi going back and forth to Magic Kingdom. The other thing that they have is the buses, naturally. You want to go to over to like Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom, get on the bus. Now, the best way.
I know. This is your way.
The best way, and you can get to 2 parks this way. You get on the monorail, and you go to Magic Kingdom. Or you stay on the monorail and not go to Magic Kingdom and go all the way around through the Contemporary, back to the Transportation and Ticket Center, change
I was
monorails,
gonna say you have to change trains.
and go to Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, y'all.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Now, quick little aside, I'm going to do this because I watched a video about it, and I'm just going to do it. There, at Disney World, they have what's called the Mark 6 monorails. Mark 6 monorails are fantastic. They hold a lot of people, and they have air conditioning. And the windows don't come down.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't open the windows on those monorails because air conditioning. They are heated in the winter and cooled in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Now in Disneyland, they have the Mark 7s. The Mark 7s, the manifolds and visage and everything on the monorail itself is sort of harkens back to the old Mark 2s and Mark 3s that were at Disneyland. That nice big bubble canopy at the front and back end. They don't have the bubble top anymore. That's all right.
A little more streamlined, a little more aerodynamic.
Yeah, more Tomorrowland.
Yeah. Okay.
More of a Tomorrowland
Yeah.
look. The reason is because they have the station in Tomorrowland over there.
Well, that's why they were built too.
They don't have air conditioning or heat.
Right.
And the windows can be opened.
Yeah.
That's really the only drawback.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that in Disney World, the monorail is a true transportation resource.
It is moving people, true.
Yeah. It's doing what it was meant to do in the first place. So yeah. Anyway. So yeah, I would stay at the Polynesian on the high end. Mid, I would stay at Caribbean Beach or Port Orleans, Riverside or Riverside. Yeah, Riverside or French Quarter, either one. I have not had the opportunity to stay at any other high end except one, and that was over at Animal Kingdom Lodge. And I got to stay in the Disney Vacation Club side, the Kidani Village.
Yes. And we got a 3-bedroom suite.
Yes.
With the whole family. There were 11 of us together.
3 bedrooms, 2 stories.
Yes.
It had 2 levels.
And we were safari side. Like we were the safari.
Yes.
So animal side. So
yes.
Our balconies were there.
Yep.
It was so good.
Chris, whose favorite animal is giraffes, got to see giraffes every morning.
Every morning.
And we all got to see baby zebra.
I know.
We got to see a baby zebra. Yes, we got to see a little baby zebra.
We have a sad story on that one.
That's
well. So I'll tell that story.
Yeah.
Tangent number 1 from me. So I work in zoos and aquariums. I understand behaviors of not only the animals but the people. And it was a morning that we were staying at the resort, and there was I got up and I go out and I see a lot. I mean, there's my first clue. There was a lot of humans on the safari. There was a golf cart with a photographer, and there was a lot of animal activity. The animals were not agitated. They were just on alert. There was a lot of activity going along.
They were very interested in what was happening and why the humans were there.
So I just started watching, and then I was like, hey, there's baby zebra. And like, that baby zebra wasn't there yesterday. And then I started looking around, and I'm like, hey, there's baby zebra. And so one of the giraffes was actually super protective over baby zebra. And then Mama was there, and they hung out in front of the feeder that was right in front of our room like the entire time.
Yep.
And so like if you go back on Instagram posts and check out the pictures of the baby, our room is directly behind, and I'm sure we're the people on the balcony. Like that is totally cool. So anyway, it was baby's first day on safari, on exhibit.
Don't you have a short video?
I do have a short video of that. Yeah.
On Alyce's channel. Go to Alyce Todd.
I think it's on my channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really cool to watch, like they were taking pictures and they were able to post, and I was watching, and all of the keeper staff was doing their job of monitoring behavior of babies, so that way she was safe, and then that any negative animal interactions that could have happened, they could have intervened.
Right.
But they were just really off to the back, and they were just making sure that all was well, letting animals be animals is really the mantra, and how zoos and aquariums do with introductions like this. They just let it naturally happen.
Don't force behavior.
Don't force, and don't intervene, because you'll make it worse.
Oh yeah.
Humans will make it worse.
Oh yeah.
So I was able to watch all of that, and I had, family going, what's going on? And I'm like, I think the baby's brand new. I think the baby's first day is out there. And then after a while, I was like, it's baby's first day on the safari, and we get to watch that.
Yeah.
Like, that was my big magic from that one. It was so cool.
That was so vitally important, especially for the family group that we were all staying with together, having that magic.
So they named her Zara, which was the word means golden because she was born during the 50th.
Right.
So she was a golden.
The 50th of Walt Disney World. Yeah.
So that was really cool. And she was actually 3 weeks old at her introduction age. Unfortunately, she had a little bit of an accident, got spooked, and sustained an injury that was fatal. So she was only out on exhibit for about 6 months.
About that.
Yeah.
About that.
It was not a positive ending that you want in zoos and aquariums. It's unfortunate that it's part of the work. Is it ideal? No. Do we all take it very hard? Yes. That was a super bad day for those keepers.
Oh yeah.
That was a super bad day for zoos and aquariums. That was not what we are in the business for.
Exactly.
However, there was a lot learned from that, and some exhibit modifications were actually done to keep everybody safer. And they've had some really successful births since then.
Exactly.
So it's not ideal. It's sad, and we were all sad. But you take what you can and learn from it and do better next time.
Exactly.
So.
All right. So.
My tangent. So if you can't tell, Animal Kingdom's my favorite place to stay. I will stay there anytime, anywhere, any trip. I will stay at Animal Kingdom. It's the farthest away from everything. But I will stay there.
It's worth it.
All the time. I think it's a great resort.
It's worth it. I'm sorry, but I'm one of those folks that doesn't mind the bus ride.
Yeah.
So to me, it's part of what we do. It's part of where we go. It's part of how we do. Now that you've said that.
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom naturally. Where else have you stayed?
So, most recently, this is my second favorite that I will stay there hands down anytime I get a chance, is the cabins at Copper Creek or Copper Creek Resort. It is kind of like a copycat of Grand Californian.
Isn't that the Fort Wilderness
Resort, Copper Creeks, all of that. It is a copy of Grand Californian in the Craftsman, like that Yellowstone Lodge.
Right.
Woodsy. It is awesome.
Well, and just a little bit of Imagineering history. Wilderness Lodge was first before the Grand Californian.
Okay, so flip that.
Yeah, flip that. But no, seriously.
I stayed in Grand Californian before I stayed at Fort Wilderness. So.
Okay, yeah.
So I stayed there. I loved it. It was great. We got a cabin, and it slept 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us.
Okay.
It was great. It was really awesome. I've stayed at the Riviera. Loved that.
Okay.
So it's one of the newer resorts. It's right in between Hollywood Studios and Epcot. It's actually literally across the street from Epcot on the France side.
Okay.
So where you could stay, it depends on which tower, but you can stay and watch Remy's, or you can watch the Skyliner. You can watch the fireworks from Epcot from your room.
Okay.
Like, it's pretty cool. So I stayed there. I stayed at the Boardwalk as well, which is adjacent to Riviera. Another Skyliner resort. That one was fun. I like the Boardwalk. It's kind of 1920s old Atlantic City flair.
Now, isn't that the resort that you can actually walk from to Epcot?
Epcot, yes.
Okay.
It is you walk in the back side of Epcot into England.
Right.
So that one's pretty cool. I've stayed at Riverside.
Okay.
Stayed at Caribbean Beach.
Yep.
I think those are my resorts.
Okay. So, naturally, Animal Kingdom is your favorite.
Always, yeah.
So, for this trip, where are we staying?
I don't know. Where do you want to stay?
Should we go crazy and be at a high end?
Sure.
Okay. For all intents and purposes, for this trip that we're going to be discussing, we're going to be staying at the Grand Floridian.
Okay. We're going to be rich.
Yeah. We're going to be staying at the Grand Floridian, which is next door to the Polynesian.
Yeah.
Okay. It's basically one of the 3 resorts that ring or that sit on the opposite side of Magic Kingdom on the Seven Seas Lagoon. The Contemporary is the first one, and that sits to the east. To the south, Polynesian. To the west, Grand Floridian.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Floridian is what a lot of cast members would say is their flagship resort
Okay.
for Walt Disney World. What's funny is when Hollywood Studios was actually MGM Studios, a lot of shows were shot at the Grand Floridian. One in particular, and this is a weird little aside, I'm not sure if anybody remembers Thunder in Paradise, the TV series that Hulk Hogan was on, was shot at the Grand Floridian.
There you go.
So, yeah.
So the Grand Floridian has a Mary Poppins type of theme. It's very English in England. And then in the Disney Vacation Club towers and side of everything, it's all Mary Poppins. The rooms are Mary Poppins. You walk into the lobby of the DVC building, and it's got the penguins in a fountain. I've did a tour of there, and It is so... If you are a Mary Poppins fan, you have to stay in those resorts.
It's very much the theme of turn of the century.
Oh, yeah.
So it's very late Victorian, early Edwardian, that type of feel.
Yeah. Fun resort, though. Beautiful.
Yeah, the character breakfasts there, from what I understand, they're princess-themed. First off, it's all princess. I know, right? Yeah. But I'd still go, because the reason is because Cinderella's stepsisters show up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Madame
Princess
Tremaine.
adjacent.
Yeah, and Madame Tremaine.
Princess and Mom adjacent.
Of course, and the reason is because the cast members that play Cinderella's stepsisters,
Drusilla, or whatever.
I can't remember exactly their name. You guys know better than I do.
Yell at us in the comments.
They're amazing. They're wonderful, wonderful actresses.
They do good.
They're marvelous.
They do
marvelous. Good. I love them.
That would be fun.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's part of the character breakfast they do.
Can I take a little time out here?
Sure.
If you have children and you need to be really economical, the lower tier resorts are not bad. They are actually very good, and especially with kiddos, you've got things like Pop Century and Wide World of Sports or whatever.
The All-Stars.
All-Star Sports.
Yeah.
Is it the music one?
I
Pop?
I don't know. I don't
There's
know.
some great family-friendly resorts that have really great rooms, really great amenities, really great places to stay. So don't think that just because we're kind of being very adult and very Disney adult on this talk, that there's not a place for families that are really economical. And if you do stay with children and you do go to those lower tier resorts, you actually probably get some discounts that you can't get if you travel as Disney adult.
Yeah.
And they really try to make it a good thing for families. So I wanted to take a time out there to say, families, you can make it very affordable, because it is a good investment to go to the east, but it can be very affordable.
Right. Now, also be mindful that not every resort is going to have a character breakfast.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. You have to travel to that.
Some of the mid-range hotel or resorts do have character breakfasts. Some. Mm-hmm. Not all of them.
Not all of them, no.
You are going to find character breakfasts at your higher-end resorts. Polynesian has a character breakfast, Lilo and Stitch at Ohana's. Mm-hmm. Grand Floridian, we just talked about. Over at the Contemporary is Chef Mickey's with the gang.
It's
the Fab Five.
Is it Fab Five or Four?
Fab Five.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Pluto gets involved too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So yeah, and that's where you're going to find your character breakfasts. As far as in the park, I can't remember.
Tusker House at Animal Kingdom is my favorite
there you
one.
Go.
It's so good. That's really only character in the park that I remember doing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, Tusker House, Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, and
so good.
This is where I didn't do enough research because I can't remember the place over in Magic Kingdom.
That does a character breakfast?
Yeah.
It
does Winnie the Pooh.
It's Crystal Palace.
Thank you.
Crystal Palace does Winnie the Pooh and Friends. It's the friendship meal.
Yes.
I have not personally done it. We've had family who's done it, And if you are a Winnie the Pooh fan in any way, shape, or form, it is 1,000% worth it because Eeyore is worth the price of admission.
My favorite's Piglet.
Mine is too, but I had a Piglet that went to church with me all the time. So Piglet was my guy. You know that.
Yeah, I do.
You know that.
Yeah, I do.
So
okay.
But
yeah, but
so Crystal Palace in Magic Kingdom has the character meal, and that's all day, by the way.
Yeah. What else?
All right, so we're staying at Grand Californian,
Yes.
and we're going to get the lay of the land.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
park days.
Well, let's see here. Get the lay of the land. We're currently right now in the lobby. They're doing the eggs. They're doing the Easter eggs.
The Easter eggs are cool. So that's the cool thing about Grand Californian is seasonally they will add art or like at Christmas they do gingerbread and Easter eggs, and it's all like food based. So the gingerbread houses are life size and made out of gingerbread. These Easter eggs are made out of chocolate, and they are stunning works of art. Like the culinary artists are fantastic. So they do a lot of seasonal things in the lobby to really change it up, make it a lot of fun, bonus decor, show off some skills. So it's pretty cool.
It's absolutely amazing in my mind.
It's
And
if you aren't staying there, you can go in the lobby and you can hang out and check it out.
Indeed. Indeed.
So it's cool.
Now, what was it? What was the name of the restaurant that's there?
Citrico's,
No.
Albert and Victoria's.
Albert and Victoria's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's, again, there are like 2 or 3 sit-down restaurants at the Grand Floridian.
Albert and Victoria's is really high end, and they only do 11 reservations at night, and it's a 5-hour experience.
Yeah. You are there for the evening.
And it is really hard, and you pay for it.
Oh, yeah, you do.
So
yeah, you do.
I mean, how do you want to spend your money on your vacation? Go.
Right. They have a seafood restaurant there called Narcoossee's.
Narcoossee's, yeah.
Yeah. And I have to force myself to pronounce it that way because that's the correct pronunciation.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. It's a Greek thing.
Yeah. So really cool. So you're staying at the Grand. Like I said, those resorts that are closest to Magic Kingdom have great accessibility pretty much anywhere. You're going to be within 10 to 15 minutes. Pretty much anywhere you stay, you're going to be within 10 to 15 minutes. Animal Kingdom, maybe add 5 more minutes on that.
Maybe it's a 20-minute ride?
So
I don't know.
yeah, it's about 20.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't remember it taking that long.
It's not that long, but when everything else is
within
no more than 10
7
minutes.
Yeah.
it feels like the longest.
I know.
But.
I know.
So there's a lot of transportation to get in there. So.
Yep. Now also be mindful you do not have to do the buses. If you have the funds and you are needing to do this in a particular way, you can always charter the minivan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It is a minivan that is red with black spots.
White polka dots.
Red with white polka dots.
And the black tires.
Yeah, and the black tires, and yeah,
It looks
it's Minnie's
Mhm.
van. So, it does cost extra.
It can be a lot pricey.
Yeah, be also wary and mindful that if you are someone that needs ability assistance,
Yeah.
I would not go with the minivan because I don't know. I cannot speak to it as someone who would need mobility assistance. So I don't know what they would do or if they actually have vehicles that are specific for it. I would assume they would.
But they have to with ADA.
I would assume.
I don't want to speak out
Right.
of turn.
Well, also it's the never assume.
Right.
Never assume. Getting on the bus with a scooter is relatively easy.
It is.
Relatively easy. It's tight. I will warn you now. It is tight.
And
Okay.
time consuming.
Yes, because you have to maneuver the scooter as though you are parallel parking,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to have it locked in and locked down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
For safety reasons, because obviously you don't want the scooter bouncing around and
No.
rolling around while we're trying to get to Epcot. So,
Those are some things to definitely consider. So add some extra time on that.
right. Again, with the monorail, it's super easy because basically they provide you a ramp, you roll in,
Mhm.
you stay, turn it off, lock it down, sit down, and there you are.
And you're in your chair.
Yep, and there you are.
Yeah.
And to me, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It is cool. So they do. There are options and things. So we've gotten to the resort. How do we? I know how we plan our days, but like, what's the? You have to have a plan. I think is one of the things I want to give out there is understanding. There is some fluidity within your days, but I am more of planning a park per day.
Yes.
And then having like a middle day of a flex day or a rest day, but you want to have kind of some of that is your play day, but you do want to plan one park per day.
Right.
You don't have to have park reservations anymore, right?
I'm going to say yes for Orlando.
Okay, not if you're a pass holder though. If you're not a non-pass holder, we'll have to double check. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
So you do have to get some park reservations. The other thing too is if you are a resort guest, you get access to early hours at the parks throughout the week. And if you're going to be using Genie Plus and or wanting to get on rides like Tron, Guardians of the Galaxy, those are the two.
Those are the two.
Those are the two you have to get. Yeah. You have to be on at 7 a.m. on the app and try and get a boarding group.
That's right. And if you are not staying at the resort, you have to be in the park.
They changed that.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
They did change that. But at one point you did have to be in the park or on property.
Yeah, and on your phone and doing the whole thing and, refresh. And
then, oh my gosh, we got a boarding group.
Yeah,
oh my goodness, we're boarding group 1.
When do we board? Now.
We had a couple hours. That's what happened for us the last trip that you were on was we got Tron and we actually got boarding group 1 and it was, yeah.
I am eager.
We're going to have to
experience.
ride Tron. We have to ride Tron together.
And also I want to go into the gift shop because I want to get me a Flynn T-shirt.
You get your thing.
I want a Flynn Arcade T-shirt. Yeah. I got to have that. I got to have that. I'm sorry. That's my childhood.
Well, but the reason that we're doing this is that when we would rent movies at the Blockbuster or Latorn's at home, we would get
laser discs.
The laser discs.
Yeah.
We would get Tron, and Tron was a frequent on the playlist.
Oh yeah.
And we would
so was the Black Hole.
Yeah. That one I didn't sit through that one very much.
We did not like the Black. Neither one of us liked it that much.
But we would sit, Tron was on the playlist a lot, and that would be like pop the popcorn, and it's a family movie night, and we'd all sit and watch Tron, and then we'd watch it 500 times. So it was hard for me to ride it the first time without you. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh, Alyce.
I know it was
hard.
Come
on now.
No, I know, but it was like it didn't. I mean, I did it.
Well, sure. Yeah.
I didn't feel that bad.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh my goodness, Chuck has to be here for this. Like, this is our stuff, you know. So anyway, it will happen. It will happen.
Oh yeah, and so. I'm eager for that to happen very soon. So apparently, we're gonna go to Magic Kingdom now.
Okay. And we're close. Might as well. And it's the first one. It's the OG in the Florida. You might as. I mean, we start with Magic Kingdom. Generally, when we travel there, I think on some of the last few trips, it's been like the second or third day in, simply because we're fighting and trying to avoid big crowds.
Yes.
But we're also not first timers either, so we know we can have the same experience.
We don't necessarily have to be in the Magic Kingdom
right.
But since we're over at the Grand Floridian,
why not?
We've got
water taxi,
3 ways. We got 3 ways to get there.
Oh no, you're going to want to monorail it in.
Well, maybe.
It's fastest way in.
Well, not necessarily. Well, okay, yes. It's actually, from the Floridian, it is the fastest way because in. It's the shortest. It's the shortest.
You have Polynesian, and then you're in.
But if we're going to sit there and travel, it's going to have to be on the boat. It's going to have to be the water taxi.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
I have a hard time giving that up.
You know my answer to that. Go in one way and out the other.
Yeah,
like if you're gonna split difference.
And I would prefer actually to leave the Magic Kingdom through the monorail because that way I can go through the Contemporary over to the Polynesian, over back to the Floridian.
Anyway, that's true.
So ride the circuit.
We have to get in there. You have to cross Seven Seas Lagoon.
Right.
There's fun water stuff. It's great. And then you get to the front gates.
Right.
Scan your magic band to get in.
Again, gold pillar with a gold ball on the top of it. Scan your band. White, green. And then scan your fingerprint.
Yeah.
And then they take your picture, too.
They take your picture and they match. And then right or left?
This time, when we went with everybody, especially with Tom and Lynette and everybody were with us, that time when Kat was really little, we went right.
We went right, yeah.
And as soon as we went right, who did we run into? Big Al.
Big Al.
Big Al.
My man.
From Country Bear Jamboree.
Blood. He's my favorite, and and that's one of my nicknames, so I have an affinity.
Of course.
My favorite song in all of Country Bear OG show.
Which is not going to be in that show anymore.
Tragic?
Yeah, that's that's another episode really about the changes that are coming to that park. And yeah, that's
Country Bears is one of my favorite things. So I love it. But Big Al, yes, he was in. Love him.
Okay.
That's what's cool about this. Actually, both the East and the West. But when you walk into Magic Kingdom, there's always characters in that front area for you to meet and greet, and you get that immediate character experience.
Yeah, it's so the good morning.
Yeah.
It's the good morning.
It's great.
Now, that's really the only time that you're going to see characters available like that at a Walt Disney World park.
And that's a difference between East and West Coast.
Yeah, that's the only time.
Yeah.
Every other time, you're going to have to stand in line to meet a character.
Yeah.
Okay?
And they don't move around as much as they do in Disneyland.
No, they don't.
They're stationary, and you have to go to them. They're not necessarily walking around and coming to you. So.
We got lucky with Al.
Yeah.
We got very lucky with Al. So anyway, we walk in, and it's pretty much the same layout as you would see over in Anaheim. It's Town Square. You got your firehouse over on your left-hand side. You got your bank on your right-hand side. You've got guest services over to the left again. Over to your left northish is the Emporium, and over farther closer to the firehouse, there's a little bitty barber shop that hides in that corner.
Yeah, but the main one's down the street.
You can get a haircut at Magic Kingdom. I did that.
Yeah.
I did that. It's fantastic. Anyway.
So did Artemis. Artemis got her first
haircut. I saw that.
She got her first haircut there. So
oh, my goodness.
It's fun and funsies. You guys share that.
Yes. So anyway, we're going in. Layout's pretty much the same. Flagpole's in the middle. The dedication plaque is at the base of the flagpole. This was done by Roy, Walt's brother, because Walt had passed away by this time. And this was done in 1971. So you go down and you turn, and then right down Main Street, which is a little longer than the one in Anaheim.
And a little bit of a bigger scale as well.
Slightly larger, yeah. Yeah, the forced perspective is not quite as forced.
Right.
I'll warn you right now, for folks who have never been to Disney World, spoiler alert, this is where you find out that the castle is bigger in Disney World.
It is.
Cinderella's castle is bigger.
Yeah.
It's huge. And I have it behind me on the wall here. So I have a poster of the elevation drawing for Cinderella's castle. Sorry, that's my geek. So yeah, the castle is bigger. The hub is slightly larger as well. The partner statue is still in the middle.
Yep.
So that's the thing that they share between Anaheim and Walt Disney World is same
that
statue.
Configuration, yeah.
Yeah. So, we're at the hub. We've gone down. Other quick aside, and this is for all those foodies out there who are hot dog fans like myself. It is not Refreshment Corner or Coca-Cola Corner. It's Casey's Corner. Yes, look for the baseball player
after Casey at the bat.
That's right. And I'm going to say this, and this is where I'm going to start a lot of fights.
Fight me.
Okay. Hang on. I hope. That's just to open it. The hot dogs in Disneyland are better than the hot dogs in Walt Disney World.
I do agree with you there. Yes.
Fight me.
Same with the churros.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Churros are meant for a drier climate.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, I agree with you. I think that, I mean, a Casey, you have to have a Casey hot dog.
Yes.
But I agree with you. I think that the hot dogs are better in Disneyland.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, moving on. What land we going to first?
I always like to default going to Adventureland,
Yes.
Liberty Square, Frontierland area, just
Yep.
because it's really where my favorite rides are on that
Yeah.
side of the park.
Well, yeah, I mean, over in Liberty Square, you've got Haunted Mansion.
Riverboats.
Yeah, you got the riverboats.
You have Hall of Presidents.
Yep, the Hall of Presidents there in Liberty
Yeah.
Square. And then moving over towards Frontierland, you've got your...
Country Bear Jamboree.
Oh, that's in Critter Country.
No, it's right at the base of Frontierland, Adventureland, Critter Country. Like
Oh,
it's that,
all right.
It's the Frontierland, and they do the hoedown in the Frontierland.
Oh, all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry about that. And also you've got Big Thunder Mountain over there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Tiana's Bayou is going to be there,
yeah, which was Splash Mountain.
which was Splash, but that's where they're at. And then you can go back around to Adventureland, where Pirates is at,
Yes.
and Jungle Cruise.
Yeah. Now, the Adventureland in Orlando, or in Walt Disney World, is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Is a little different. Okay. The reason is because the things are a little bit bigger, a little bit more spread out. The queue, just to give you an example, Pirates of the Caribbean, the queue is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like you're
It's-
in, yeah,
It's like you just walked into an old Spanish fort.
in Tortuga. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the stonework, the cannon,
Mm-hmm.
everything. It's just beautiful,
Yeah.
and just that whole theme goes right on through to the loading area, and the ride is
Then.
shorter.
And not as yeah.
The ride is
The
shorter.
ride is shorter, and it's laid out a little different. So if you're expecting the ride to be a carbon copy of Disneyland's, it's actually not. It is a lot shorter.
Yeah. Now in Disneyland, you have 3 water drops. You have 3 times you go down.
2 big ones and 1 little one.
Yeah. In
You have
Magic
one.
Kingdom, I thought you had 2.
No, you have 1.
You have 1. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, you have 1. So there you go. You guys,
And you don't have the Blue Bayou.
that's
So
right.
you don't
There's
have
no
the
restaurant.
Blue Bayou in the restaurant, and so you don't get to go through the swamp
That's
and
right.
slowly roll your way in. Like you get in, and then there's the dead man tell no tales, and you get your picture taken. And you're like, and like.
Keep all your hands and arms inside to be prepared to repel boarders.
So, anyway,
And keep a weather eye out. Yeah.
so I actually am a Disneyland Pirates over Disney World Pirates person. However, Pirates of
Always.
the Caribbean, it's a must ride too, because we're outside of Pirates at Disney World in the Magic Kingdom. You have a better chance of seeing Jack Sparrow than I think you do at
Yes, you
Disneyland.
do. Yes, you do. In fact, he does a meet and greet right
outside. And
Yeah.
and then there's some other pirates too, like you get some
Right.
face characters there, but he's there more often. So that's kind of a fun character perk at Magic Kingdom that you don't necessarily get as consistently that I've experienced at Disneyland.
Very true. A fun little aside, on the top of Pirates of the Caribbean entrance, they have a tower with a cannon in it. The cannon, on the hour, will fire and ring the bell across the street
There you go.
in the mission. So, just fun little asides there.
So look
Anyway.
for that. So then another ride in Adventureland that's not carbon copy, but similar is Jungle Cruise.
Yes.
It is actually laid out the same.
Yeah, and I do believe it's about the same length.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same length. So
Yeah.
if you wanted a carbon copy ride, and they had to put that in. It wasn't originally. Was it originally part of the?
No, it was
no,
not.
and then they had to add it afterwards because people were like, "Hey, why didn't we
There
get
were-
the Jungle Cruise?"
Right, there were almost armed revolts.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they put that in the plans because when they did hey, what do you think of Disney World? And they're like, why isn't this ride on there? And then they had to redo the plans to add it, and then it was a opening day ride, but it wasn't going to be there.
Exactly.
So then that's Adventureland side. You can cut across to Liberty Square and Haunted Mansion. similarities, differences there. Haunted Mansion in Disneyland is, I think, longer.
No.
No,
It's shorter.
That's shorter. This
Yeah.
is the one where it's longer.
Which
at
one?
Disney World.
No.
No, flip it.
Yep.
Okay.
Again, Haunted Mansion is shorter in Disney World.
Okay.
Yep.
I kind of like. Well, I can't say that. The old queue for Haunted Mansion at Disneyland was challenging.
It could be, yeah.
I like the queue at Disney World because you're right along the rivers of America, and it's kind of it
Right.
feels better.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get
The facade of the mansion per se
Mhm.
is kind of cool. They got things going on in there that you don't, they have people walking by the windows and you see
Exactly.
shadows and stuff. So
Exactly.
it's a little more interactive.
Yes.
All of the bus and everything. There's some fun interactive pieces in the bus as you walk through, and
Apparently, there's a puzzle to solve.
there is a puzzle to solve and a murder mystery
Yeah.
to solve. I've not personally done it, but I do know of it.
Exactly.
And you just have to
Exactly.
be. There's also one of the crypts. If you move your hands in front of it, you hear people talking out of it. So there's
Mhm.
some really fun Easter eggs in there. There's some fun interactives that you don't necessarily get at the Disneyland queue that you get in the Disney World queue.
Right, and apparently that's all going to change.
At Disneyland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've torn up.
All of it.
The there's a whole
there's some
lot that they've done.
Good changes. So
Yeah.
it's kind of fun that way, but it is a little bit shorter of a ride. However, their gift shop for the Haunted Mansion,
Oh,
Magic Kingdom
the Memento Mori.
is
Yes.
great. That's a great little gift shop.
The bag that I use for my camera when I go to parks now is from Disney World, from the Memento Mori.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a sling bag. And, okay, that's the other thing, too. Disney is all about the sling bags, okay? And I love them for it.
Yeah, it makes
I
it
love
easier.
it. I love it. Anyway, that's complete aside.
As per usual, I base everything on where I can get a good snack
Yep.
and a good beverage.
Yep.
And in Florida in particular, getting out of the heat. So some upsides on, and this is probably where we'll end episode 1.
I think
is kind of
it's
in here.
At the eating part,
At
yeah.
the eating part. Country Bears is a great place to get in out of the heat with air conditioning.
Yes,
It's a good
it is.
15, 20 minutes. You
Yes,
get out
it
of
is.
there. Hall of Presidents, another great place to get out of the heat
Right.
into the air conditioning. That's really
Right.
great. And then there's some really yummy eating places in Liberty Square in particular. I like Liberty Tree Tavern.
Liberty Tree is one of my favorites.
It's such a good one. And
It's one of my favorites.
we haven't done the family style dinner,
That's
but
a character. That's a character meal.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
I haven't done it. I've only done quick service there, but you can get some. I mean, it's totally Americana food. So I mean,
yeah.
we're American kids. We're gonna eat fried anything.
Honestly, think of Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, that's
See,
what you're. That's what you're getting.
And I'm not a fan of turkey. Yes, fight me. I'm not a fan of turkey.
They got roast
But
beef.
they have chicken and stuff. It's
They
great.
got chicken. They have roast beef. They
it
got
is-
turkey. Yeah.
It is really a good roast dinner.
Yeah, it is.
Whatever
It's a
meat you
Sunday
roast,
dinner.
it's a Sunday dinner,
Yeah,
and it
it's
feels
Sunday
really
dinner.
great. So that's a good place. You can do sit down or quick service at that one, either one. There's a really yummy carts that are out there that you can get good
Yeah.
popcorn, good cold snacks like Mickey ice cream bars,
Yep.
those sorts of things.
Yep. And the Mickey ice cream sandwiches.
So those are
Yep.
good. Fun little shopping around there too. So, but I like to spend. This is actually my favorite part of Magic Kingdom, is to spend a lot of time in the Liberty Square, Adventureland, Frontierland
Oh, yeah.
section of that park. I will ride pretty much every ride in that section of the park.
Oh sure.
And of course the riverboat. You have
Oh
to.
yeah. I mean, you
Like,
can't not ride the Mark Twain.
I won't ride there. I will tell you the things I won't ride on that side. I won't ride Aladdin's magic carpet.
Imagine that.
And then getting squirted by the camel.
Yeah, the camel spits at you.
Yeah.
You forgot a really good place to eat in Liberty Square. Harbor House.
Harbor House. I've only eaten there once.
Oh, man. Okay.
Skipper Canteen, though, on the Adventureland side.
Yeah.
Skipper Canteen, I do enjoy that one a lot, too. That one's hard reservation to get, but if you can get it, get it.
Exactly. No, the Harbor House there was, I mean, it's just standard fish and chips and shrimp and things like that. And honestly, at lunchtime in the day, that's one of my favorite go-to meals.
They have a really good clam chowder.
Yes, they do.
The other place that is in that side of the park that's a good get out of the heat is the Enchanted Tiki Room.
Yes, indeed.
And you bounce.
Now this one,
I love it.
This one is the show area and the building is larger.
Yeah, you get more people in there.
Yeah, it's much larger than at Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things that you honestly have to know what the building is, because the sign is out front, yes, but people walk right by it because of the dang Aladdin carpets.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those.
Yeah.
That's probably the only ride I won't ride on that side of the park.
Right.
So, wrapping it up for episode 1.
I know, right?
And we're only halfway through the park. Kind of takeaways, if you've heard us talking and you can kind of take away as a summary, is that, we do want you to planning your day is the best. Having a plan, going in there, having a whole solo travel day.
Yes.
Getting acclimated and oriented and...
Learn your resort.
Yeah.
Learn your transportation options.
Just get the lay of the land. Get your legs under you.
And of all the stupid things, lay down on the bed and watch the TV. It gives you a whole lot of information.
Yeah, it's good. And so, just kind of don't feel like you have to jump and run into everything to get the most out of your dollar, because you'll get the most out of your dollar.
Exactly.
Really pay attention. We'll probably in the next episode talk about Genie Plus and how to utilize it to your advantage, because Magic Kingdom is one of the parks that I say you need to use. If you're going to buy Genie Plus, do it at this park.
Oh, at Magic Kingdom,
At Magic Kingdom,
yes.
I think you get the biggest value for it. So we'll talk about that in the next episode.
Right.
We'll talk about some of the other sides of the park there.
Right. And we'll probably end up calling out a few of the YouTuber influencers that we admire and love.
Yeah.
So.
And work with that and just kind of some experiences there. So anyway, this is part 1 of Magic Kingdom in Disney World. Love it. There's, like I said, I spend most of my time in Adventureland, Frontierland, so. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there is so much to get into on this particular set of episodes.
We're there. We're ready.
I know, and we're already over an hour.
I know.
It's like, I can't be done yet.
We're not. Just tune in a couple weeks. We'll get you part 2. There might even be a part 3. Who knows what we'll do.
At this point, I mean, because there's so much information.
Yeah.
There's so much information.
And just plotting your course, too, and being strategic about which rides you go and all that. So anyway, Thanks for your attention, everybody. We hope that you got something out of this.
Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all my subscribers. Again, I'm floored. I have over 120 subscribers now.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And remember, don't stop traveling.
Get out there. See the world.
Please.